Dear friends, and please have a look at the video of Tatiana Chernigovskaya speaking to the teacher workshop Sinesh and the media now and the society talk a lot about the transformation due to the pandemic, and the teachers think that this transformation was long overdue due to the pandemic, and the pandemic has turned out to become a catalyst. At what stage are we now? Why have we come here? What were the prerequisites for that? And what kind of the factors of the development of the secondary education are we going to have? These answers, many you'll learn with the conversation with Tatiana Chernigovskaya addressing the teachers. Tatiana Chernigovskaya, please. And if we turn to the cam, and we could see her, and just in a while, please wave her. Uh, Tatiana, please, hello. We can, good afternoon. We can hear you from the workshop Sanish, and we are happy to have you today. Hello. And we talk a lot about the transformation due to pandemic, and we feel with the teachers feel that the transformation was long overdue, and the pandemic turned out to become a catalyst. And would like to learn what you think about that. At what stage is the transformation? And where are we now? Why have we arrived here? What kind of the factors, ways of development in the secondary education are we going to have? What would you like to tell to the best teachers? Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My co-workers, friends. I'd like to start with a pathetic address. It's not necessary to explain that the society understands that the chief experts are the doctors, and absolutely at par at the same level are the teachers. I'm not. It's not because I'm addressing to you. Oh, I'm seriously thinking like that. If it were not for you, just imagine what was going to happen to the planet if when the planet came to a standstill due to the pandemic. If it were not the digital technologies, because we are sick and tired of them, because we want to have the real interaction, real life. Just imagine what would have happened. We can't even imagine that. I'm fresh back from Moscow, where I was speaking live to an audience, and I could feel the energy being exuded from the audience. And people told that they were happy not to talk via the cam or the screen, those kind of the MS Teams and Zoom, etc. What I'm hinting at, and I'm driving at that. We understand that we have entered, and I'm sick and tired to talk about that all the time, because we have entered the digital civilization, to a different civilization. This is not just pathetic; it's just a fact. And I think that God will help us to get rid of the pandemic very soon. But you see that I'd like to write like back in the olden times with a swan feather, and with a paper, but everything, reality holds it that everything is in the past, and we've got to treat that very seriously, and we've got to get used to that. And I was excited to listen what was being spoken, because the teachers, people are divided into two groups: those who are Zoomers and those who like to write on paper. And here, the life, it is what it is. We can't change that. It's all about the age. Unfortunately, I'm not a young one. I'm quite an old one, and I'm not an advanced here. I know the people who started learning computers and computer science, coding, and some very hard serious technology, not just press the buttons, but they are serious in the know in their 80s. And they became so much advanced, and that even we this kind of the competition, we can't tell who is going to be more successful, those youngsters or those 80-year-olds. And it's not all about that, how fast you can type. And what the thing is that you've got to know where to find information, where kind of the sites to search, what kind of the technologies are better, which are just trifle, which are harmful. And to be able to handle that, you've got to be smart. And and you know that I'm a brain researcher, and I can assure you that, of course, the disease can strike anybody. For example, Alzheimer strikes youngsters more and more. Not only those who are over 70s or in the 80s, but even those who are 30. It's not our topic of discussion, but if it's not a disease, the more the more brain power, the more brain activity you do, the better, the more chances you have to stay healthy, to improve your brain activity, to stay healthy for lifelong. If you don't train them, it's like the muscles. If you don't train them, you've got to teach them how to walk. If we if you eat only the popcorn and stay lazy there and just play with those gadgets, play video games, etc. And after this kind of the after this lecturing and the role of the teacher, I'm in the member of the Academy of the Education, and because I'm in the know. And there were a lot of polls, a lot of surveys with the students and with the school kids. And the subject was very simple. What kind of a teacher would you like to have? Which is the best teacher? Which is the ideal teacher? Which is the best teacher, top teacher? And I'm not going to take statistics because I don't trust it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. And the overwhelming majority of the students and the most serious answer was that they wanted to have a teacher who could understand them, who could listen to them. They wanted school children wanted a teacher who could understand them and who could talk to them. And and just have a look. We are here, where and just have a look where the modern kids is, because their parents are always in a fuss and they are always on the run, earning money, etc. And the child is alone on his own. And the kid is since the birth is with the gadget. He feels well, and nobody cares about him. It's okay if they have. It's a good thing if they have grandparents. But grandparents are busy at the same time too, and nobody cares the child. And those and the kids would wanted to have a teacher who generated the warmth, and the pandemic made it clear. Unfortunately, I'm a public figure and I talk to a lot of people, I give speeches, and there is kids don't want to have a smart teacher. They don't want to have a smart teacher. The answer was, it's understandable. We understand that because they have a Lisa, they have a gadget in their pocket. Lisa is not knowledge. It's just the information and nothing more. But but the point is that the role of the teacher has changed. The teacher is the only hope for the kid. We have to put them. Everybody's on the run. And they tell you that you have a lot of gadgets. You can look everything, you can learn online. Nobody was going to deny this. But the kid is facing challenges. It's very hard for the kid, not only with the subject, because his soul is in anxiety, because they want to feel warmth. They want to share with a person their heart. But this is true. Even the students tell me like that. They students want interaction. They want to be talked to. This kind of the warmth, the human interaction. It turned out to be so much obvious, and uh, and the pandemic has revealed a lot of exciting things. And we are pressed for time. I will cut that short. Okay. When there turned to be turned up a lot of opportunities to the open world. We have a lot of online courses, worldwide online courses. There are on the internet, but most of them are English, and we have a lot of Russian courses, and they have the translation. And now, just think, what the kind of a competition has is facing the teacher. We can't put the expert on Italian Renaissance to a village or to a tiny town. It's not going to happen. But we can do, and at the same time you do. We can teach a kid to refer to a certain site to learn to get them different sort of information. Um, to be able to learn how the Earth looks like from the space, and we have got major opportunities. What's going to do the teacher then? His role is different. It would be a wrong thing to say that the teacher is going to be replaced. The teacher is never going to be replaced. In my own area, I will tell that roughly. If we want to not go nuts out of this out of this crazy world, we've got to retain this emotional and warm human sphere. It's not like it's not going to be replaced, never. When the world is so much tough, every 2 days, everything you are getting used to something, and it momentarily changes. And my schedule is so tight, and it always changes. It's like when you take a note, when you fix something, and you see that everything, it's like a domino. It just topples down. Everything changes fast forward, and we should know that our kids, elders, and youngsters, and we should teach them to some meter skills, not to be stressed or not to panic after everything falls down. We've got to teach them. We've got to teach them to handle those hard things. And I know that the time is pressing, and I had a question. What kind of prospects are we going to have for the years to come? What are we going to have in 5, 10 years, and 20 years' time? What we are going to have? And I will give you, if you wanna make God laugh, tell him about your plans. We don't know. We can know only one thing. The only thing we know that we won't get back to pre-pandemic levels. We know that the world without digital technology, that without digital space, it's no longer going to exist, and we've got to learn. We've got to learn to live on this planet, and we are having a lot of new skills. And I gave a speech in Moscow and gave a lecture. We can't behave ourselves in a very rude way, and our grandchildren, we can't throw them to a forest without teaching them survival skills.
let them do everything on their own. We've got to teach them to have a lot of survival skills. We don't teach this. Do we teach them how to live, how to survive, what to trust, what not to trust? We know that the fakes are much better than the original, genuine stuff. The fake has filled everything, you know. Only the expert is able to tell the difference between the fake and what is genuine. And this is a very weird world. We've got to do something with that. And the last, what I will tell you, for the last years, and the pandemic has become a catalyst to that. All the foundation has been undermined. The foundation of the if the one person, for example, in the olden world, if they insulted each other, they were asked to fight a duel. But now it's different. The judicial norms are broken down, legal norms are broken down, ethics has crumbled, and we've got to develop that all over again. For example, when the driverless car has overrun a person, how are you going to handle that? The ethical norms have been broken down, and world judicial legal norms have been crumbled. And this area, like bio neuroethics, bioethics, this kind of the ethics, we can carry out a lot of experiments. We can do everything, but we have got to stop. We've got to curb our abilities just a little bit, and we've got to get ready kids to be able to survive them in this rough world. And this is extremely important. And the last, and the roles have been shared. And I don't need a person, for example, so smart to remember everything. It is like a metaphor. I do not need a smart person. I can pick out my camera from the handbag. What? And we're talking about the role of the people. What's the role of the people? This is your homework. Please handle that. And I'm finishing. And you are at the forefront of this open and immense space. And if it were not for you, the kids, and elderly kids won't be able to live further too. And the laws of game have changed, you know. We want everybody, for example, to be happy. How are you going to handle that? What does that mean? Well, how do you understand to be happy? How happy kids or the elderly, how happy are they going to be? To have a lot of popcorn and to laze around. What is happiness? What is happiness? Not to starve, that is happiness. And I encourage you to think about the existential things and the very important stuff. And I wish you to stay courageous. You are the very forefront. And I started with that. And I'm finishing with that at the same time. And I'm bowing to you. I'm kowtowing to you. And I'm expressing my respect. And the way you are going to bring up the next generation is going to shape the future of this planet. No less, no more. Everything depends on you, the future of the planet. You are going to shape the future. I wish you to have a strong spirit and to be healthy and mentally healthy, and to be more focused on what a role you play on the future of our civilization. Thank you.